Welcome along everybody once again, MRL season 15. This week round 3 and we have got a horror show this week. A circuit that I don't think I've ever driven before in a league race. I've never driven it out of a league race either. Circuit de Saint Croix, but it is a reverse. Now we've all done A, but reverse is a completely different story. Very strange braking points, very few brake markers in places. So we'll go straight through the lap, we'll get into our view, here we go, and let's get started. Coming up to turn 1, and we are braking just on the 100 as you can see, down to about 90 to 100 miles an hour as long as you ride the curb nicely on the inside. Here we go. 90 odd, yeah, ride the curb, use all this one on the way out if you need to. Rev 4 out in the Porsche as I'm doing, and we are looking for the start of the curb here. Maybe just before the 100, I'm going to brake all the way down to thirds. You want to hit the apex on this one at around about 90 miles an hour, and you want to run it out wide for the long left-hander coming up. Here we go. So, staying fourth. I think I'll go down to third though for better rotation next time. Keep it nice and tight here, then run it out wide. You'll see these curbs here will help that if you need them. And before we get onto the bridge, we are braking just at the 100. I'm going to try and brake in a straight line. And what I want to do is I want to miss the curb on the right hand side. And I want to line the car up with the green Astro on the left. Now coming onto the bridge here, you've got a very tricky bump, but if you're far enough over on the green, the bump won't affect you so much, and you want to try and take that bit straight. So here we go. So miss this curb, you want to be straight here. There was the bump, horrible. Get on the power in second. I have done it a bit cleaner than that, but that's okay. You will be 57, maybe 56 coming over the bridge here. For coming off the bridge, we are looking at this Marshall on the left hand side. As you can see, I'm braking on him pretty much. Down to third gear, and you kind of miss the bump on this one. It doesn't really affect you coming off the bridge, but that's only if you're on the right hand side close to the curb. Here we go. So there's the bump, doesn't really get you that much, and that's fine all the way up to here, and we are braking just at the gap in the fence. I think I'm just on the gap, sorry. Let's have a look. Where's my marker? There we are. Let's have a look. Just before the 50, yeah, I'm braking right now. And you really need to get on the inside curb for this one, and you want to be hitting the curb mid 50s, maybe 60 mile an hour at tops, because as the curb drops away you will run out very wide. You will understeer like crazy coming out of this one, so be very careful here. As you can see, I could have been a lot closer to the curb. Use all the runoff on exit. That's fine. For this one you want to cut onto the left, braking just as you're coming off the curb, down to around about 90 miles an hour. If you get to 90 and you touch the curb on the inside here, then you can get straight on the power for the wide exit. So straight on the power. Oh, it was a bit slow there, so there's time to be made up there for sure. Now this one's probably the hardest turn on the circuit because it's a double left and it gets very tight. So what I'm doing is I'm running it out wide, staying in 5th gear. When I get to the start of the curb here on the right hand side, just there, I am starting to lose power. I'm going to go down to 4th. I'm not going to throw it in straight away because I want to hit the apex at around about 106, 107 on the way out of this one. So let's see how we get on. Down to 4th. There's the late apex right in front of that sign. So you want to click onto that. Here we don't have much of a braking point. So about 50 meters before we get to this red and white barrier. You're going to chuck it down to second. You can come out in third if you're holding enough speed. I think it was a little bit slow through this one. Oh no, stay in third. Mid 80s is fine. You've got plenty of runoff here. This one very tricky. Stay on the inside and then come out here, and then when we get to the vision sign on the left hand side, that's where I'm braking, as you can see. Down to third, and the wider the better, because you want to throw it in here around about 75 to 80 miles an hour. You have to get on the curb to get a good run out. So let's see how we get on. On the curb, good run out. Use all this curb again. Now ready for the first set of double lefts, and we are braking around about 75. So as you can see, just braking now. And again, down to mid 70s, maybe 80 miles an hour through this one. I was a bit tentative here. It was only my second lap of the morning, so let's see how we get on. Yeah, can use a lot more of that curb. You see the car's getting squirrely already on the second lap on softs. Again, around about 80 miles an hour. Now you just run it out here and you let the car drift to the left for the tight one, and here we are going to start braking, as you can see. And you want to take this right hander again at around about 80 miles an hour, mid 70s, 80 miles an hour if you can, and get on the power straight away and run it right out to the left hand side. So mid 80s, run it out to here, and when we get to this red piece of barrier here on the left hand side, this is where I'm starting to brake, as you can see. And I go down to second for the rotation here, then up to third on exit. So down to second. Oh no, I've run it out in second. I should have been in third, really. It's a bit better gearing third. Now this one, the final corner, can be very, very tricky. I am braking here at this bare tree on the right hand side, just as that's leaving the screen. I'm going to brake, I'm going to throw it down to third, and you can get right onto the AstroTurf here on the left hand side if you're careful enough. But on exit of this one, there is a little bump that might catch you out if you're battling, so be very careful here. I actually go over the bump, but I think I'm straight enough that it keeps the car stable. Here we go. Stay in fourth. There's the bump there. Nasty little thing. And that is a lap. Now, a 3:11.369 is not too bad. I've done about 25 laps already. I'm still getting used to the track. I'm still waiting to get on the power better. So we'll go out of car and we'll do it all in real time for you. And the second part of that right left-hander that I never put a brake marker in for, I'll put in here as well. Here we go. So there's the 100. Cut down, get onto the curb, run it out wide. There's a couple of miles an hour in that, possibly. So now what we're looking for is just after the end of the curb, just on the 100 actually. Then we cut down again onto the curb. Tentative on the way out there because I ran it a little bit wide, so a bit better rotation needed. Keep it nice and tight through this part, then let it run out. And as your tyres go, you won't need to use that curb. Again, down to the 100, down to second. Miss this curb, try to straight line this if you can, that's okay. The bump there, annoying. And that barrier is lethal, so stay well away from that if you can, going onto the bridge. Again, here's the marshal ahead of us. Down to third. Get up onto the curb if you can. That bump doesn't really figure, it's okay because you're decelerating and coasting anyway. There's the gap in the fence, down to second. Could have been a lot closer to that wall, but run it out nicely, that's okay. This one, try to straight line this one, right onto the curb, then cut across here. Could have been a good bit faster there, maybe 6-7 miles an hour at least, up to 90. I done it earlier. So this one, just let the car drift out. And as you see, keeping it in fifth. We're looking just after the start of the curb. Braking, very tricky in here, especially with that bump on it as well. That's not too bad. Braking here just after halfway down that curb. Use all that curb there, that's fine. Again, this one, the wider you run out the better, but as your tyres are going, it's going to be trickier. And that gravel does take no prisoners. So again here, around about 75 we're looking at. Cut down onto the... See, it turned in too late there, that was terrible. Now for this brake marker, I am using the first tent of this batch of tents on the left hand side. That's my brake marker here, as you can see, because I never put it in the first one. I should have done. But again, we're coming out of this one at around about 80 if you can. Yep, and that gravel again is waiting to take you away and drop you down positions. Start the curb, swing in this one nicely. Took that one better. And again, I came out of this and said I could have came out of here in third. It would have been better for the car. Especially all the way down here. Now we're looking for the bare tree. It's a pretty good brake marker. Here it is. Yeah, we can get right up onto that green stuff. I've been further in there, so I wouldn't have had to use much barrier on the way out. But that is your lap for this week. I hope it helps you. A 3:11.3. I won't tell you what my optimum is, but it's a bit better than that. And I'll catch you for the next one very soon here at MRL. Cheers all.